We have everything that doesn't make sense. From tape recordings to documents to letters from her to us, from phone calls. We have everything. We're the only two people in America, and nobody knows of us because we've kept it all private for years.
But I think that the whole world by now would like to know what happened to Natalee. Do you know anything about that, exactly what happened to her?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Can you tell that?
Ken?
If you want to bring out the truth, well,
okay. People, what happened is she had made plans that week. Okay. She knew her mom and dad was coming in the island. We set in the Aruba Today back in 06. Kevin was there, and we took the police out to this spot. We took the police out there, and they didn't believe us, and we said, please, we'll take you out there. We took them with no map. We took them right to the spot to where this area, and they sit there and they went, oh, you know, no. We went out there, and they dropped their tongues. They said, this is not normal. They called Dennis Jacobs and said, get the dogs out here at 6 o'clock the next morning. You remember that, Kevin? Mm-hmm. It never happened. Okay. We knew that she had hooked up with some people, and we have names of everybody that nobody would have humanly possible have known these names and street names who she was with. And she overdosed. Remember, Dom Peg said something and that she probably overdosed or whatever and died? Yeah, she did. But we have names of everybody that nobody would know. That'd be like you telling me, tell me names of people in my area right now, and their street names and their real names. Could you do it? And no, you couldn't do it. We sit there with Minister Cruz, Rudy Cruz. We sit there with Minister Breeson. A year ago to this date, they were blown away. We even took Edward Cruz on something. He was blown away, brought tears to his eyes. Nobody would ever know these names, and they are still here on the island.
So she was no part of a drug deal, drug transport, drug whatever?
None.
She wanted to run away?
She didn't want to go home to the abuse. How this rings true to us, we both went through this at 18 years old, the exact same situation. That's why this is so unreal, because we both lived it. We both lived the exact same thing.
But so she did stay with Joran on the beach at that moment.
And he left her.
After that,
he left her.
What?
After that,
he left her. What? After that, what?
She was befriended
and we know who she was befriended by, and a few people, and they hid her out for a while. Then it got to the point, it got to be a little sticky. Then it got to the point, what guy would not take in an 18-year-old blonde down in the St. Nicholas area, get her away from here, would help her get out of the thing. It got to be sticky. All of a sudden, she's all over the news. Then it got to be pretty bad.
But she wasn't in a bad shape at that moment, because she walked back.
Not at that moment. Not at that moment. Joran, what 17-year-old boy, common sense, can pull off an international mystery? 17 years old and sit in the morning to have exams the following morning. Tell me what 17-year-old boy, and they have interrogated him. We were with Anita the other night. She came over. We visited. We're good friends with Paul and Anita. And how we met them was a fluke. We came the first time in 05, sitting out having coffee, and they walked right across our path, and I jumped up and I put my hand on his heart and I says, I know your son didn't do it. Paul started crying. Anita started crying. And we said, we know he did not do it. And that was in 05. And we have come in 05, 06, 07, and now 08.
But have you any idea why Beth lied? Why didn't she?
Why what?
Why Beth lied?
She didn't want the secret out.
She didn't want the family secret out. Who wants the family secret out? You have to.
Well, she thought Natalee would come back.
She thought Joran was. Remember, Joran said something that was very, very important. And Beth
needed Joran then.
Well, yeah, exactly, as an alibi. See, here's the thing.
Hiding her.
Because Joran said something in the tape on an interview. Joran told Greta, I believe it was, I don't know, Greta, whoever, but she said Beth was like a Hitler-like mom. Mm-hmm. This is not the first time Natalee has left home, and we come to find out it's not. Why hasn't anybody interviewed the pilot who flew over here? Why hasn't anybody interviewed those girls? Why did she tell them, for your safety, get off the island? Why does she act like this is a big drug cartel or whatever? She has to keep the light off of her. She went over to the Vandersloots and thought that Paul and Anita was hiding out her daughter, and she's like, I'll drag you home by your hair, Natalee, if you think you're going to do this. She talked to her in flight. She talked to her in here. She talked to her.
Check those cell phones.
There's somebody else that is no longer on the island and was in a very respectable position that knows a lot of information on this, and she's not here no more. And she's back in the States.
Natalee was alive too.
And she knew Natalee was alive. She knows it for a fact. This has been a big cover-up. This has been a big cover-up. It's a very simple case. We've been asked to work on other cases. We don't. This is a very simple case. This is not a big internet. This is a home problem that Beth is scared to death we're going to expose. The home life of Natalee. Natalee was not going home to the abuse. I'm going to have this child. Jugs Twitty, they had their divorce. Jugs is scared to death. We're telling Jugs and Beth, prove us wrong. We put our reputation in who we are. Prove us wrong. We have spent money on this for the truth, for Ruben. Prove us wrong.
But is it the fact that it would have been awkward for Jack to come in the open that he would have abused his stepdaughter?
Who would ever do that? Who would ever say that?
But it happened on a foreign island. If it happened in America, everybody would look at the family first.
Oh, yeah, everybody
Susan Smith, said someone kidnapped her children. That didn't happen.
Oh, yeah, the police down here wanted to go into the family, but they were not allowed to.
Exactly.
Possibly the father?
And that's what's not fair.
You'd be surprised who told us that. Yeah, you'd be very surprised. I want a very close camp. Yeah, you'd be very surprised who told us that.
He was the father.
Can you ask that again?
Was Jug Twitty the father of the child?
Very possible. Yes, you'd be very surprised how that was told to us. Remember?
Say possible.
Well, I'm going to say yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And there's people in America that know this information. And it's sat back and it's wrong. We apologize to everybody in Aruba for them.
We apologize.
They sit back there and have let Joran take the heat for this, and it's not
We
fair.
apologize for Aruba. Aruba did nothing but help them out, and we apologize.
About the original poster that was posted. So, with other words, somebody helped her make another poster here, and does that incriminate her as covering up?
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Are we
She owes
talking
Holland
about
money.
Julie now? Are we talking about Julie now?
Julia?
Julia.
Have Beth cover up this thing or not?
We're talking about her, but she had another part in it.
She had a part. You're right.
helping Beth.
I remember her telling me that she was the one that made the poster, and you're telling me that it's not the original poster.
The original poster Beth had made up before she even came to the island.
Okay.
Now, that original poster says nothing about missing or kidnapped. It is the original. Who says Natalee? Who gives their nickname with the local cell number and says Big Hootie? And who does that?
Okay,
But
that one is not the one that Julie made. Okay, that's my question.
No.
Is that the one Julia made?
No.
Is that no, it's not.
She helped her make the other
She
one.
helped her make the other one, the kidnapped one.
But Julia knows stuff.
Julia Renfro knows.
No, and you mentioned some other people about
Miriam Ann Smith. Miriam Ann Smith.
Is a friend of Natalie's.
Miriam Ann Smith.
And
there's other girls.
Too.
Miriam Ann Smith. There's also a Menard in the States. There's so many people here that I could sit here and tell you right now, names and everything.
Do you have one document or something that you can show us? Because you talk about documents.
You're talking about the time she got here?
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it, but I'm going to give it right here. Her Social Security and the vacation. She's staying at the Holiday Inn. The reason for here, vacation. What time she got here? 7:45.
Can you show it?
7:45. Not at 11 o'clock. Not at 11 o'clock.
What kind of a document is this?
This is what you enter when you come into this.
An immigration form.
Okay. That there's no way to screw it up going in the computer in Aruba. You're not writing this out. This goes in the computer in Aruba when you come off the airplane.
And what local people know more about this case?
Well, that would probably.
That I want to say at another time. There is so much we have. Edward's over there. He knows his uncle. We were there with Minister Breeson and Minister Cruz a year ago. We told them everything, and they sit there and they rubbed their head and said, "You would have never known these people. You would have never known." One of them that knows that Natalee was alive is, I believe, he's still in prison right now. That it went after the fact.